Hello, friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Brandy. I am the owner of Boundless Treasures Boutique, and if you caught my last video last week, you'll know this week we're moving into Halloween. I know, don't come for me. We're in the middle of summer, but like I said last week, when my nephew says, Auntie B, I need a Chucky cup, he's going to get a Chucky cup, which means you guys get a tutorial. I didn't go into depth on the drip in this cup, but if you want one, if you go back into my videos, the watermelon drip cup will have all the details you need to create the drip that you want. With that, I hope you guys enjoy this week's tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, please drop them. I love reading them. I love responding to them. But with that, let's jump right into this tutorial. I'm going to start with a 15-ounce skinny straight from Stainless Steel Depot. This is the perfect size for my little nephew. And we are going to make sure that we sand and prep this cup. Now, why is sanding and prepping important? Let me share. Stainless steel cups have a coating that protects the stainless steel from whatever it may get on. So if you ever put a stainless steel cup underwater, it beads up. These drops of water just bead up all around it. That is the protectant that's put over the stainless steel. That's what we're removing. So good way to tell that you've removed it all, run it under some water and it will just kind of engulf the cup versus bead off the cup. So you all know, if you've been here a while, I love my hand sander. This is not necessary. You can use a sanding block, sanding paper, or even final sand. It's whatever you prefer. I do recommend, however, that you use a grit that is at least 80 to no more than 120 grit for your sanding portion. You're going to want to make sure that you get the entire surface of the cup as well as the bottom of the cup. This way, it's all nice and scuffed up, and whatever you're using to base your cup with has something to hold on to. Once you have finished, you want to get all of that residue off of the cup. You can do this a couple different ways. Head down to your kitchen sink and use your dish soap and water, or some alcohol and either a paper towel, coffee filter. In this case, I think I found a napkin that was probably from takeout and used that. But you just want to make sure that you get all that residue off. Now it's time for us to head out to our spray paint booth. I am spray painting this white. You can use spray paint, you can use chalk paint, you can use acrylic paint. You can use whatever you want to base your cup, whatever your little heart desires. However, you are going to want to make sure that your base is flawless. No streaks if you're painting, anything like that, because this is going to be a huge part of our design. And you'll see later on in the video why. If you're spray painting, again, no drips, that is not going to work for this particular project. So if you have to pause, let it dry and go back and do a second coat, do that. That'll save yourself a heck of a lot of heartbreak because, again, your base is part of the design for this particular cup. You're going to want to let it fully dry. I spray painted, so it took about 20 minutes for that to be fully dry and not tacky. If you're using acrylic paint or chalk paint, your dry times may vary. But dry times mean this is a great time for us to go upstairs and create our decal. Now, usually I use Creative Fabrica, but this image that my nephew wanted was not in Creative Fabrica. So I had to go to Google, make sure that there were no copyrights, anything like that on the image that I was using. Thankfully, there was not. So I was able to save the image to my device and then bring it in to Cricut. You'll see here, I'm just searching. PNG definitely was the win for me, and we found our guy that we are going to use. Once I had this saved, we logged in to Cricut Design. Once we were in Cricut Design, I simply went to Browse. I went to Upload Photo, and I chose the picture that we had just saved. So once you've done all of that, I am talking way faster than this video is going. Once you have done all of that, we are going to be able to size this. So as you can see, I'm not removing the background, anything of that nature. I'm taking it in just how it is. And that is literally it. Once it's there and it's sized, you're going to see we're going to go up to Make It. And then it's going to bring us to our matte section. Now, some advice here. If you're using a glossy sticker paper or glossy printable vinyl paper, please know your cut portion of this is not going to work. Why is that? I don't know the exact reason, but the Cricut machine does not pick up the sensors, which is the little black boxes around the image. So if you're using matte, that's fine. Put it in your machine and it will cut just fine. I did turn off the bleed because I was going to be cutting it by hand. And then once that was all done, I was able to move into my next step. Now, this is the fun part, folks. I get to create the blood splatter. And here is what I was saying when I said that the white was going to be a part of this design. The blood splatter is not going to cover up all of this, but it's going to be incorporated into it. Now, to create my blood splatter, I am using my Craft Smarts acrylic paints. I got these from Michael's, and I have found that the Burgundy, the bright red, and a teeny tiny bit of black make for a really, really great dried blood color. So it's just my go-to whenever I am doing a blood splatter. I'm also going to use a pretty stiff bristled brush. Again, I've had this forever. You can find any of these at Michael's on Amazon for a pretty reasonable cost. We're going to put our Chucky face down, so where the back siding of the decal is facing towards us. And then once we've got it all mixed, we're going to use our thumb and our finger, and we're just going to start splattering that blood colored paint that we just made everywhere. Now, the reason I have the Chucky face down is because this is going to make sure that I can just apply this decal right after I'm done with my blood splatter. I don't have to wait for it to dry. It's not going to mess up anything. It's going to be ready to go. And then another thing you can do to just add a little bit more interest to your blood splatter, if your bristle is like crispy enough, I guess, I don't know, hard enough, you can just add little streaks to it. You just want to make sure it's not like super saturated with paint. You can also use like your fingers, anything like that. That also creates some pretty cool interest. From there, you're going to remove the backing of your decal, and you're just going to apply it to your cup. Now, one thing I will say is make sure that all of your portions of the cup are pressed down really, really good so that nothing lifts or gives you a hard time during your epoxy process. You can see here I am being very, very careful, very, very mindful, because the paint on my cup is dry. I don't, or may not be all the way dry, and I don't want to smudge it. Once all of that is done and your paint is dry, you are good to move in to your final steps. I did 2 final coats of epoxy on this cup and it was ready to go. I did, like I said, add the drip. So I ended up coming back and having to apply 1 more coat after I applied my drips, but totally worth it. And it ended up being so, so cute. So if you guys do recreate this, please, I would love it if you would tag me in any of that. I love seeing what you guys create. I would love for you guys to drop in the comments what you guys think of this cup. I know it's not Halloween. Again, don't come for me. But I would love to know what y'all think. Also, if you guys haven't joined my free private uh, Facebook group, I would love you guys to join me there. We've got artists and we share our creations. It's a great place to ask for help. Just a really, really fun, low-key environment. But with that, you guys, this is the final result. I just love how it came out. This will be perfect for Halloween time. And now I know exactly how to recreate it. So thank you so, so much for joining me. As always, guys, your support means so much. And I will see you guys next week. Bye now.